Everyone, Susan Gerbic out there from Psychics Explained. I want to thank everyone for making it possible for me to hit 2,000 subscribers. That is a huge deal. I remember a couple years ago struggling to hit a few hundred views, subscribers. So to have 2,000 subscribers, that's just incredible. And more importantly, it's the comments that you guys make and how we've built a kind of a community where you're giving me suggestions and I'm going through trying to get to each of the suggestions you're giving me. And it's just wonderful. Thank you. I don't feel so alone when I'm investigating these claims of the psychic mediums. It's a solitary kind of thing. I do have people who are on my team who help me out occasionally, and that's been wonderful. But really, I'm watching hours and hours and hours of psychic mediums manipulate mostly grieving women, and it weighs on you. But your comments really keep me going, and I really appreciate that. Thank you guys so much. I do want to point out that a podcast just came out today. I recorded this in September at the Magisterium, which was a mentalism conference. I've talked about it a few times here on Psychics Explained, but I'm going to share with you this interview I did, and I just finished listening to it, and I do remember it being a really good interview. I got out of it and I said, "Wow, this guy asked me questions in a way that I haven't been asked before," and he really made me think about some of the things that I have talked about many times on this channel, but he did it in a way that was much more concise. You don't have to watch a ton of my videos to understand exactly where I'm going with the methodology and the way I think about psychics and the sitters and the actual mediums themselves. And I talk a lot about women and why I think we're in the mess we're in, and how this relates to spiritualism back from after World War One in and 1890s, whenever it was still pretty bad for women, and that kind of thing. So anyway, here's this podcast I just did. His name is Scott Weld. He'd never heard of me before. I attended this conference and I gave a talk on grief vampires, what I've been doing recently in the last year and the channel and so on. And he asked if he could interview me for this magic podcast. And we have a lot in common, obviously, the magic community and the especially the mentalism community and the psychic and the world of scientific skepticism has a huge overlap. So anyway, it's about an hour long. It's a little longer than maybe some. And look at this. There's some videos. I just now seeing this first time in photos. Look at all these photos. This guy went to a lot of work. So anyway, I think that if you're interested in this topic, I think this is a good overview and some insight into my world. And I think it's a nice one to have, especially since 2000. We're just over 2,000 subscribers, and I really appreciate that. We're attracting people from all over the place. It's really funny. Um, and yeah, so let's just keep it up. And thank you so much.